What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we're going to be having a little bit of a look at a new Transformers Wave 2 battle card. It's going to be coming in Rise of the Combiners, and this one has been revealed by the lovely folks over at Vector Sigma. Very nice website that you should be checking out. If you haven't checked out Vector Sigma, please make sure you do. I'll pop a link in the description. If you're watching this video, just give the website a click. It's a really nice article they wrote about this. And you know, the deal by now, people who are revealing these cards, let's give them a bit of love, shall we? Because then hopefully more content creators will get to reveal cards in future and everybody wins. The card we're looking at today is Recon System, and it is another one of these battle cards that actually costs a star to use. So in the Transformers trading card game, every character has a star value, and you've got 25 stars to play with. Now, back in Wave 1, if you weren't at 25 stars, you were leaving stars on the table. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are in a different position whereby you can actually play battle cards that cost 1 star to make up any gaps that you've got. So, Recon System. It's got a blue and an orange icon. This is really, really cool. It means if you flip it while attacking, you add 1 to your attack. If you flip it while defending, you add 1 to your defense. It's such a rare combination. We only actually saw 2 of these back in Wave 1. We saw the ridiculous rollout, which let you flip all of your characters from bot mode to alt mode. And we saw the upgrade, 1 action, 1 upgrade matrix of leadership, which could only be put onto an Autobot leader, and then it gave each of your characters +1 attack and pierce 1, while also giving the character to which it was attached +1 attack. But they're the only ones we had. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, we've got another one, and it's a little bit of a weird one. What it says is that when you are flipping cards, when you're either attacking or defending, you may flip an extra card, and then you choose one of your cards not to count the pips. So you're not actually getting an extra set of icons here. You are essentially getting another chance to flip a good icon. So let's say you're attacking, and ordinarily you flip 2 cards, 1 orange, 1 blue. You would add 1 to your attack. But if you have Recon System, then all of a sudden you flip a 3rd card, and if that's an orange, then you count the 2 orange and ignore the blue. It gives you another chance to get the orange or blue icons, or maybe even white to flip 2 extra, that you're looking for. And this is a very good card, but it's a little bit weird and it's a little bit complicated. Now, it is an upgrade utility, which means that if you're playing this, you're giving up something like Force Field. You know I love my Force Field at this stage. But the good news is you're essentially giving yourself Tough 1 or Bold 1 without using your armor or a weapon slot, which is really nice. If you're attacking, this is essentially Bold 1, because you're flipping over 1 more card. If you're defending, it's essentially Tough 1, because you're flipping over 1 more card. Although I must remind you here that you're not really flipping over 1 more card. Well, you are flipping over 1 more card, but if you flip 3, you're only counting 2 cards worth of icons. If you're flipping 4, you're only counting 3 cards worth of icons. What that means is that, let's say you're playing an aggro deck. If you flip 3 single orange icon cards, then you add 2 to your attack rather than 3, because you don't count 1. But let's say you flip 2 single orange icons, and then you flip a Piece Through Tyranny with double orange icons. Now you can only count 2 of those 3 cards, but all of a sudden you're getting +3 rather than +2. And this reminds me very much of combat training. Combat training gives you Bold 1 if you've got a weapon, and it gives you Tough 1 if you've got an armor. And it is a utility upgrade. The thing is, combat training's only really good when you've got a weapon and an armor attached, whereas this, you whack it on as a utility and you get to use it regardless. It's also kind of like the new Dinobot Slug. I did do a video on the new Dinobots yesterday. Do go check that one out. There is a link to that one in the description. And the new Dinobot Slug says that when you flip your first white icon while attacking or defending, you flip 3 extra cards rather than 2. Now again, with Dinobot Slug, you get to count all of the icons. Here you're essentially counting all of the best ones and ignoring one of them. But we are seeing more and more like this. And I do also have to mention here, it's kind of like Flame War. In one mode, Flame War gives you Bold 1. In the other mode, Flame War gives you Tough 1. And that is to all of your characters. So it's kind of cool here that you can essentially choose whichever one you want to have. That's really, really nice. The reality is that some decks are going to really like this and some decks aren't. So let's take an aggro deck like Insecticons. Insecticons, the way they tend to be being played at the moment, is full aggro. Lots of orange icons. So in theory, you should be hitting orange icons anyway. But this will increase your odds of hitting a double orange icon, which will increase your attack by 1, which is lovely. Because you're essentially switching a single orange icon for a double orange icon. And the question you've got to ask yourself with something like Insecticons, how many double orange icon cards are you playing? How likely are you to hit one of those? Because otherwise you're essentially just flipping over an extra card and it's going to be another orange icon, and it's largely irrelevant. Having said that, the more battle cards you flip, the faster you go through your deck, the more likely you are to come round again. And something like Insecticons has got a card called Swarm. Swarm's an amazing card. I mean, Swarm lets you flip 1 card for each Insecticon with which you started the game. Doesn't matter if they've been KO'd. For each orange you flip, your opponent does 1 to their characters. For each blue you flip, you repair 1 damage from one of your characters. So the faster you flick through your deck, the faster you can get those Swarm cards back again, which is kind of nice. And what I really like about this card, let's go back to the fact it's got an orange pip and a blue pip. So whether you're going aggro, whether you're going defensive, no matter when you flip this over, if you're attacking or defending, it is going to help you. Now, for decks that really want to play a mixture of orange and blue icons, this is brilliant, because you've got the orange and the blue pip. And as I've said, it's only the 3rd card that does. But if you're playing orange and blue pips, you have that awkward situation where you're flipping too many orange while attacking, too many blue while defending. Well, this helps you out beautifully, because it lets you essentially swap a blue for a chance of an orange, or an orange for a chance of a blue. And let's not forget the white icon here, because if you flip the white icon in the extra card, then you get to flip a couple 2 extra, and that's lovely as well. So this, frankly, is really, really good if you're playing a deck which is trying to play some orange pips with some blue pips and get a little bit of balance going on there. The other thing is that this really helps when you hit that awkward double white combination. Now, this was a point that was raised by the folks over at Vector Sigma in their article. If you flip 1 white icon, it's awesome, because you then get to flip 2 extra battle cards. The problem is, if you then flip a 2nd white icon, it does literally nothing. It's a completely dead card in terms of flipping it. You get no advantage from it. Well, here you get to essentially ignore it and flip an extra card. That helps really nicely. But sometimes you actually want to hit the double white icon, and this will actually really help you in terms of hitting the double white icon. So we could look at stuff like Metroplex, which wants to hit 2 white, 2 orange, and 2 blue. Now, that's extremely difficult to actually pull off, but if you do, you get a phenomenal skill here, whereby you tap and do 1 damage to each enemy. So a card like this, where you just get to flip 1 more card, and you don't get to keep one of them in terms of the battle icons, but you get to keep the ones you want, that's going to really help. How about Autobot Jazz? Now, Autobot Jazz is one of these ones that really wants a double white icon. Bot mode, when you attack and flip 2 white icons, you get Pierce 2. Yes. When you defend against an enemy that doesn't have Pierce and flip at least 2 white icons, you cannot take more than 2 damage. Well, this is going to really, really help that, don't you think? We could also mention Chromia here. The bot mode, when you attack and flip at least 2 white icons, draw a card. And of course, we've got Autobot Mirage, when you attack for the first time each turn and flip at least 3 white icons, you can untap it. And playing this card will increase the chances of you pulling these things off. Recon system will help you potentially do this. Now, it does cost a star here, so we do need to compare it to the other cards that cost a star. Bolt of Lightning has no pips, but does 3 direct damage to one of your opponent's characters. That's pretty good. Mounted Missiles has been the gold standard so far. Double orange icon, plus 2 attack, and it can go in the armor or utility slot. And then we've got Vandalize, which has single orange icon and discards all of your opponent's upgrades of one type. And it's very situational. It will be good against some decks, not so good against others. I'm not sure if this stacks up against Mounted Missiles in an attacking deck. And I don't think it stands up against Bolt of Lightning if you're going for direct damage. But in terms of universal usage, I do think this stacks up very nicely indeed. And I do need to give a shout out to Slipstream here, because Slipstream is another one of those cards. It's not looking for double white, it's looking for at least 3 different icons, and you get plus 3 attack if you do. Now, Slipstream was one of the convention exclusives, making it very awkward and rather expensive. But first of all, you've got an orange and a blue icon here, so if you flip this while attacking, brilliant, there's 2 of the 3. But also, the fact that you get to flip an extra battle card means that you increase your chances of flipping 3 different icons. So for Slipstream here, this is just absolutely brilliant. And I do need to quickly mention a couple of other cards that we are getting in Wave 2. Megatron Arrogant Ruler, when you flip it into alt mode, you can attach an extra upgrade, which is pretty gosh darn good. This could be, well, this could be the one you choose. And we do also have Swindled here. I have done videos on these cards. I'll pop links in the description, which lets you draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards, and if you're playing an entirely Decepticon team, you may play an upgrade, but if you're playing any Autobots, you don't get no upgrade. This is a very interesting card. The blue and orange pips, very, very nice. The fact that you essentially have Bold 1 or Tough 1, whichever one you'd rather have, not perfect in every situation like I've said, because it's not true Bold or Tough 1, but it will very much help you. And bearing in mind it's not in your weapon or armor slots, so that's even better. And just the fact that we've now got 3 different cards with blue and orange pips, meaning that you can really take advantage of the double pips to make far more of a mixed deck. But having said that, ladies and gentlemen, it does cost a star, so it can't go in every deck, and even when it can go in your deck, you have to make a decision as to whether it's better than the other star cards, and that is a decision I'm going to leave you to make alone. But I would very much like to know what you think, so please do let me know in the comment section, ladies and gentlemen. Go nuts! But please do remember the most important rule as always, be nice, would ya? And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and follow me on Twitter at the Wossy, where we talk about Transformers and other games. But by far the most important thing as always is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.